My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we are talking about Slayers X, Terminal Aftermath, Vengance of the Slayer, which is a first-person shooter developed by Big Z Studios and published by No More Robots for PC and Xbox consoles in 2023.
Yeah, and this is one of our, this is our premium episode for the month. So patrons get the whole shebang, and everyone gets the previews. Yeah. This bad boy. And this is a game that, relatively recent for us and close to my heart.
Very much.
Yeah. From a universe we're both really fond of.
Yeah. I adore this.
Yeah. There's a sense of sweetheartedness to like everything Jay Tholen does that I think hits me.
Yeah.
He's just got a sniper bead like directly on my heart. On a lot of this stuff. And this is metatextual in a way that really works for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like metatextual wank is a thing. And some would say it's endemic, to games. There's a lot of, you go back in time and kill your own grandfather.
Yeah.
Close time well.
Wagging my finger at you, Alan Wake.
Yeah. Just it nonstop metatextual dog shit. And this, it's not the first, like I was trying to think, is this the first game made by a fictional character?
Right.
And we've done the beginner's guide. We've done what can you learn about a person from the games they make,
right?
Or a character from the games they make as a game before. But it's maybe one of the more like full-throated versions of it, I think.
It feels it's actually really funny that slip there. What can you learn about a person from the game they make to character? Because that I think speaks to exactly how well Zane is realized in this.
Yeah. We all know Zane, and if you didn't know Zane, you were the Zane. It's got the Dermot thing.
Yeah, give me something in a cyber Dermot.
Yeah,
something that's gonna, I think, just kind of saturate this episode as an admiration for Jay Tholen, but also, I love the work that he makes as well. But he is so fond of like a particular era of early internet community and the kind of people who were endemic to those places.
Yeah,
I also am fond of. Just when I grew up in, early Something Awful days, fucking around on GeoCities and Angel Fire and stuff like that, and just making these games, Hypnospace obviously, but this as well, that are love letters to that, is always going to hit very hard for me. Yeah.
It's a part of early 2000s, I think, is not, that I find a charming cultural wasteland.
Yes.
It's the nice B-side to new metal. Coming back and having a resurgence, which I don't care for. I take no joy in that. I think that music just sucks. I don't like Seepage, as a band. But the actual like lovable dorks who were into it, I have a lot of affection for.
Yeah, just the just incredibly earnest, guileless, full-throated DIY jank of the way people express themselves using the tools of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. So we're talking about Zane. This is a game where you play as Zane. It is about Zane. Everything is Zane. We're full on virtual insanity here.
Yes.
You play as Zane, who is a psychic hacker who rampages across a fictionalized version of Boise, Idaho, to get revenge against the Psycho Syndicate, demonic androids of some kind,
among other things.
So many different things. Because
some of them are aliens.
Because they blew up his mom with a bomb.
Yeah.
And it made the
they
news.
killed his mom. They killed his mom. They killed his mentor, whose familial relationship remains unspecified. You'll never know. All these things. So this metafictional concept, though, is that Zane, a character from another game, from Hypnospace Outlaw, who we'll talk about at this point, started this game as a youth in a notebook, went on to live a very tragic life of quiet and dignity, and then won the lottery. And I imagine it's not Mega Millions or anything.
No,
won like a $50,000 scratcher or something.
Yeah, like a scratcher, like one of the one of the nice scratchers that you get somebody for a Christmas present. One of the $20 scratchers from the bottom row of the machine.
Yes, won a nice scratcher and decided to make the game. So it is not only is it a snapshot of this character, it's a snapshot of the snapshot of a character.
Yes.
It's Zane making this as an adult that he started as a child. And there's just like layers to that.
Yeah. He still thinks is the best idea he ever had.
Yes. Zane has changed in ways that are perceptible but subtle, and are tragic.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a story of like unfulfilled potential to a certain degree. Yeah. God, I love it. If you've played Hypnospace Outlaw, you remember Zane. He is in the Teentopia community, and he is an edgelord / wannabe tyrant kind of guy.
Zane sucks. Especially in Hypnospace. He is a troll. He harasses people. He's a garbage little teen, of which there were many. And many people, I think, in Jay Tholen's cohort and audience probably see at least a little bit of themselves in some Zane, right?
Yeah.
And all this stuff that happened in between, he's one of the people who could survive Hypnospace because of what you do. And this presupposes what if he did?
Yes.
And follows that next step.
You can save his life by banning him. So when I was coming up with this outline for this, kind of thought of the three different things that this game is trying to do, and the ways in which it succeeds. So this is part boomer shooter, just straight up like what you're playing, kind of this cohort of Amid Evils and Dusks that are throwbacks to a very particular era of like specifically like build engine, Duke Nukem 3D, Redneck Rampage. Kind of things. Blood.
When first person shooters used to be good.
Yes. Yeah. So it's part that. This is also part like homage to custom map and mod culture, because this in universe is just a custom map and mod of Hypnospace's version of Doom or Heretic, Cataclysm. Yes.
With a K.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And also it is a study of Zane himself. This is, boomer shooter as character study.
Yes. And the character part, so that's something that it's interesting to talk about. Like, we'll get to that in a little bit. All three of these elements, I think, are not 100% committed. I think that in tandem is how they work.
Yes.
As a thing. So it's not like you're getting like a biography of Zane, or that Zane is the deepest character. He's just deeper than you think.
Yes.
You're not getting a boomer shooter as good as Dusk. You're just getting a decent boomer shooter. It's not a homage to like the custom map and game creation stuff as strong as the beginner's guide.
Right.
You're just getting a more specific snapshot. It's like a zoomed in version of all three that kind of adds up.
Yeah. And it stands up because all three of them lean on each other like a tripod. Right.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
Talking about the boomer shooter, it's pretty fun. It's not very deep. You move at 1,000,000 miles per hour like you do. There are lots of enemies. The encounter design's not perfect or anything like that. It feels amateurish. The weapons are pretty imaginative, but to a degree.
No.
So like a bunch of them are just FPS weapon types. But also there are a couple of standouts with that, which we'll talk about when we run into them.
Yeah, and like where they're not, even if they're not imaginative mechanically, they're imaginative like thematically.
Yeah,
Or
flavor
just
wise.
flavor wise. You get the teen notebook idea of like, oh, what if the chain gun was also the chainsaw, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of dudes rock stuff. There's ammo that you get for these individual weapons, and then a resource called hack blood that enemies, which need not be specified,
Yeah.
which enemies drop as well, which is kind of a mana. Early
Yeah.
on, you have to have 95 plus hack blood to use your melee weapon, the S blade.
Yeah.
That means you have a hack blood charge.
Yeah.
And you can do this energy wave attack. It functions as a melee attack when you don't have that.
Yeah.
And it also functions as armor. In a clever way. You take half, while you have hack blood, you take half your damage as hack blood damage, which is something I don't think I realized the first time I played.
No, it didn't stick out to me. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, but it's clever to make your armor a resource. Armor being a secondary health in all of these games.
Yeah. Now, eventually you find the Hackblood Talisman, spelled MEN at the end, which will serve as your BFG. It'll shoot the big explosive rounds that'll like clear out a huge area around you. But also, if you charge the fire button, if you hold that, you'll shoot like an energy beam. You'll do like a Kamehameha kind of deal, which will also let you fly. Which is a good way to get to secrets, and there are levels that are designed around this.
Yeah, you kind of hover. It's great.
Yeah.
There's an okay amount of enemy variety. There's not tons. This whole thing has an issue where anything that is not great about it is part of the joke.
Yes.
There's a little bit of I meant to do that in everything. Same thing with the encounter design, like when it just here's a spammed like 1,000 dudes.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And the enemies themselves, I think, are not super imaginative in this. And it again, affects the play. Is part of what makes this as a boomer shooter, it's no Dusk, but it does seem like something Zane would make.
Yes. Yeah. And to me, like a lot of it came across like, oh, this is just a reskin of like an imp. This behaves the way that an imp would. There's very clear like cacodemons, right?
Yeah. There's the Screaming Skull things, the Jestas are very much those.
Yeah. God, I love how the Jestas have a life cycle that you see the entirety of.
You get to very Duke Nukem 3D.
Yeah.
That bit.
Yeah. I just made a note of this. This has the difficulty modes, which I love. Easy is not a real gamer, and then it goes up for normal gamer, I'm awesome, and then insane.
I like insane a lot.
Which is good.
The interface stuff has a lot of stuff. Boy, that's a bad sentence, but the difficulty modes are funny. And then there's cool things like in the options, you can change the amount of blood from normal to extreme. And it's either, I don't think it's in the difficulty options. I think it's during one of the commentary things.
Yeah.
Current Zane talks about doing that so he can share it with his son. Like Zane doesn't swear.
Nope.
Is a real cute little thing. And again, it's because he's a son. Like he's a father. He thinks it's a bad example for his kid. So he says flip it a lot. And when he flips people off, there's a flip off button in this. Use your ring finger. For it, which is hard.
That's very hard to do. That's not a finger that's meant to stick up like that. Yeah.
It barely operates on its own.
Yeah.
It's real weird. Yeah. Garbage finger. Fruit joke finger. Like clown finger.
Yeah. But again, just showing that aspect of his character. He believes that, I'm going to not swear in this because I want to share it, but then look at just how crude and vulgar the rest, just the very nature of the product is.
Well, it's a real Arrested Development thing. He also doesn't like drugs.
Yeah. Right.
As a thing. And it's just this like very kid version of Chip on Shoulder. Yeah.
So moving on to the custom map kind of homage part of things, this is, I think, where stuff starts really getting fun. Because Zane is not very imaginative. Like there are cool things that happen in this, and he's come up with like a cosmology for this world. Generally, whatever is coolest to happen, he wants to happen, solving for his definition of cool. So you're not going to like fantastical realms. There's like one level where you go inside of a computer, but even that is married with geometry from Cataclysm itself.
Yes.
So when he sets down to make levels, what he does is, something I think a lot of us did, which is make representations of mundane things from your life, right? So, you go to the dollar store where he works, but his boss has a secret elevator that goes to a Psycho Syndicate secret base that's beneath it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a thing that happened early on. It happens with modders and stuff for sure. Like people do it. It was also a really big part of boomer shooters.
Yes.
At the time. And it's come around to be something that's really appreciated, which I really love. If you play Duke Nukem 3D, everyone loves that first episode. Well, I mean, not everybody, but that first episode is much more memorable than when you're on alien bases. Who gives a shit about alien bases? It's not novel because it's fake. It is, you're already changing your verb and avatar set, and being in the real world in that has more impact than changing your verb and avatar set and changing your surroundings. Then it's just a movie. Then it's just fiction. And this is a huge part of Duke Nukem 3D. It's a huge part of Blood, a huge part of all these games, and it's come back.
Yes.
In a big way, like this being in fashion. That game with the horrible like transphobic slur hidden in it, the Ion Fury game, like that looked really cool. It looked like it took place like largely in a mall, which is very exciting. Like I love mundane locations in video games even now.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot about, we talked about Sims and stuff and talked about dungeon design. One of the reasons I think this is strong, not just nostalgic and cool, and it gives that cool feeling, but it's because you can intuit spaces a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So something that's just going to be a maze of corridors, like contrast the new Prey with the old Prey, for example. The new Prey, you're in spaces that people live in, so you can intuit things. It feels real. The old Prey is just alien corridors, and it feels like dog shit.
Yeah.
It feels like abstract nonsense. You're just in alien corridors. Who cares?
And it stands to reason, right? Because it's mimicking real spaces. Real spaces, by and large, are designed for people to use. So it's borrowing from principles about the way your mind works, right? About the way that like objects and, flows of movement need to work for people to, relate to them above and beyond just like, okay, this is a fast food restaurant. So I know there's a kitchen, and that kitchen probably has a freezer, or this is a suburban tract house. So I know there's going to be a basement, and if I play my cards right, that basement's going to have a rumpus room with a pool table. Oh man, it's here. Yeah.
Right. There's that element of predictability. There's also just the life that comes from it. Interesting stories and interesting narratives come from places where people live. Almost hands down. Like the almost in every case. Like you can have a lot of fun in an abstract space.
Yeah.
In a video game, and you can tell cool stories, but I think it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Even in games with like alien cultures, like even when we did Riven, for example, like that was an alien culture, but the fun of that was seeing how people use the space.
Yeah. The classrooms and stuff.
Yeah. Like people. It's people. It's always people, and I think that's a really, if you had to come up with an elegant shorthand for Jay Tholen's philosophy on games, like I think that's as good as anything.
Yes.
Like it's people. It's all, it's just, that's what's special about living and life and the world. So do things that people would do. Think about the characters. Think about what they do.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why like a maze dungeon like drives me nuts. It's just like, oh, this is just a maze. Who gives a shit? It's a junior jumble. Like give me a space that things are in.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. Like, and you're going through real classic places, some of which directly borrowed from Blood.
Yeah.
Carnivals, convenience stores, trailer parks, stuff like that. Really good.
Yeah.
There are lots of sewers. This is because Zane has his brain in a sewer. He thinks sewers are cool.
Yep.
And he's making a shooter. So that's what happens.
Yeah.
He really wants to design his own. And his thinking was, gotta have a sewer.
Gotta have a sewer.
Sewers are not bad in this. They're not, big claustrophobic mazes. They're just levels with a lot of shit on the walls.
It's so much shit. Yes. Yeah. He's just cooked. He's just so cooked in this milieu.
Yes.
It's great. Yeah. And like these end up being very fun places to fight and explore. Searching for secrets in this game is a huge part of the joy. Whereas, for me, in a lot of other, in a lot of first person shooters of this era or that harken back to this era, secrets, can be fun to find when you think, oh, there might be a secret over there. Oftentimes when I find a secret in these, I found it by accident trying to find the way to progress. Right.
Well, there's two different types. There's a weird thing where like, and this is never am I big timing anything.
Okay.
There's like a slight line in the kind of shooter lineage. So like Secrets and Doom suck.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, it's just a random wall. Secrets and Heretic are a little bit better, but mostly suck.
Yeah.
But again, when you go to like Blood or Duke Nukem 3D, the secrets start getting really good.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is evoking. It feels the same thing. So like in Duke Nukem 3D, you see the screen come down when you come into the movie theater. And you think like what, and they give you a rocket launcher when you're facing the screen. You blow it up and you can go backstage.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of thing this does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Blood does it a lot. All those games of this specific lineage do that. Yeah. Like pretty well. Where like Dusk is not super great at it. Like I love Dusk with my whole heart, but it's not super great at it either. It's a little bit more Doom pilled.
Yeah.
You know, there is something that comes with these mundanity of levels that also comes hand in hand with looking for secrets being super fun, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aesthetically, this apes those custom masks people used to make very well. You know, photo source textures are all over the place, you know, just barely altered, like, okay, just take a picture of grass and here's grass. The like product design and signage on everything is incredibly funny. You know, and like it's brands, but it is brands that you see from Hypnospace that Zane has kind of defaced with a marker. Yeah.
Yeah. You know? Or parody brands. So like we're through the looking glass on this shit. Like we have McDonald's, Hypnospace has Boppos, Slayers has Sloppos.
Yes.
You know, like it requires, you know, there's a little bit to it.
Yes. Yeah. You know, instead of like, you know, like Hypnospace has Gray's Peak Cola, which sponsored the what is it? Chill Fest?
Yeah.
Cool Fest. Yeah, Cool Fest.
I have a Cool Fest shirt.
Yeah. Sponsored that. This has Gray's Leak, and Zane wrote on it, tastes like piss or tastes like pee or whatever.
Yeah, good job, Zane. Like Gray's Peak was already an insane name for a soda. You know, like it sounds like a stage of dementia or something.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't. It sounds like a medical term.
Yeah.
Gray's Leak does as well.
Yeah.
Or like a bad vegetable.
Gray's Leak comes after Gray's Peak.
Or what I like to do at the salad bar. Like the Gray's Leak.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that took me a second. Yeah. So finally we get to the part of Slayer's X that I think is the most successful here, the character study. You know, I think this is kind of the main pillar that everything is deriving from, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Zane, very insecure. Extremely edgy, was real mean to people, like started a Hypnospace version of like Hot or Not to harass people.
He didn't start that. He aped the cooler version of it, the garbage dump. He made his own hell dump in order to impress the hacker collective. Yeah.
Yes. The really loves this new metal band called Seepage. Perfect name for a new metal band. And just was gross. Did a lot of homophobia. Kind of thing. That makes sense for his character. It's well lived in. Like we don't need to cancel Zane. Yeah, it's exactly what would happen in, you know.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to cancel. We don't need to cancel Zane because in the fiction / also IRL on his Twitter, he said, "Yeah, I really regret you know, the stuff I said there." Right? Like, he like grew up. Cool.
Yeah,
good.
Zane grew up a little bit, but not entirely
in that way. Yeah.
So the ways in which he grew up are the interesting things. We talked about how you can save him. You know, by banning him, because Hypnospace ends with a big crash that killed people logged into Hypnospace. He thinks the same things are cool, but there is a romantic tinge to him trying to recapture a little bit of what he had, which he never really had. That is so fucking sad.
Yeah.
It's like the shitty Royal Tenenbaums.
Little bit,
you know, like people are always talking about shitty X-Men. Like, he's kind of a shitty Tenenbaum.
A little bit, because like he felt creative back then. He was making a web comic. You know, he was interacting with a bunch of people. He didn't have like responsibilities. Whereas, you know, shortly after the snapshot that we saw in Hypnospace over the course of those chapters or those months, you know, like he's going to graduate high school and he's going to go into this dead end job working for a boss that he hates. Like all of this.
Yep.
What's that?
Oh, he hates his boss, has a kid, but there's no mom in the picture. So he's a single dad, manager at the Dollar Shaver. Great name for a dollar store. And implied, you know, his mom passed away. Like he never knew his dad.
No.
This stuff comes out in the game.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just that's what makes those details about him trying to be a really good dad for his kid especially sweet, right?
Yes.
Because he never knew his dad. He grew up in circumstances, right? And probably not great circumstances for a kid, but he's trying really hard.
Yep.
And it's not like it's God, I just like this could just be mean, but it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, the Jay Tholen touch.
Yeah.
Right. It's you root for Zane. Like Zane fucking sucks. If I knew Zane in real life, the best case scenario is he'd be like a coworker who like I thought was kind of funny. Like not necessarily on purpose.
Right.
I like he would be somebody I would tell stories about in abject suffering. Is like best case scenario.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I am pulling for him. The idea of winning the lottery, going and doing this thing that you thought was lost, that represented all of your unrealized potential. It's romantic. There's not really another word for it. Like it's, and it's easy for me to get swept up in that.
And I think it also speaks to like positive qualities of Zane too, because like there's a very like notable secret in this that tells a little bit of the story of him making it. He's also a little bit of like a Mark Borchardt kind of character.
Yeah.
Because like despite the fact that the programmer who worked on this hates him, right? His friend Adam is just kind of like, oh my gosh, he's so annoying. Never make this promise. He still wants to do it because he
feels bad for the guy.
He feels bad for the guy. Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's really nice. There's also a big win that I think that happens for Zane in getting getting Seepage to do the soundtrack for this.
Yep.
We don't learn a lot about Seepage.
No.
But the idea that Seepage saw these comics, thought they're really cool, and there is even though like regretfully there are little strains of new metal coming back currently, the idea that Seepage also probably is looking back on these times with similar nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like there was a time in which kids were going online and making fan comics about us. That's so fucking cool. We play at state fairs now.
Yeah.
What the hell? I'm going to let this kid use our music.
Yeah.
Like, and think about that win. Like think about the most has-been band that you loved, 20 years ago. If you still love them, then being like, yeah, man, let's do it. Like not
not just letting him use the music, but coming in and having the lead singer
doing a voice,
do the voice of
writing a new song
in character. Your dad,
I fucking nuts. Well, we don't actually know, and he'll never know.
He'll never know.
We'll actually never know the relationship. It's uncertain what he meant by that. It's actually really ambiguous. One of the funniest jokes in the game, I think.
Yeah. But I just the fact that we are playing this means that Zane got to fulfill his dream, right? And there are secret levels that kind of show like his early attempts to make mods and stuff like that. And then there's one that shows like, oh, he had like a broader concept. He wanted this to like this big climactic level that took place across all of Boise. It couldn't happen, but like he got to fulfill it. He got to complete it and put it out there. It's a real premiere of Coven moment, right?
Yeah, it's very premiere of Coven.
Yeah.
The music in this, it is a style parody of new metal, of this. I'm less into the music, of this game. Just the instrument palette bounces off my ears because I don't like that. Don't like that sound on a guitar really. So you can speak to this a little bit, but it didn't work for me super well.
Yeah. Initially, I was a little bit put off as well, just because like, okay, what is this? But also like Jay Tholen and the people that he got to help him compose all of this stuff kind of seem incapable of making things that aren't earwormy. So like there are like lots of fun little riffs and melodies that I still have stuck in my head.
It's super well observed.
Yes.
Like it's exactly what Zane would do. There's no problem with its appropriateness. To me.
Yeah. This is dynamically mixed, so it slips in between different intensities of any given track depending on what you're doing, which is a good touch.
Yeah. The writing in this game is good and funny. We talked about that really funny line before. But the dialogue has a bunch of typos, both intentional and not. You get glass shards, things like that. And then just Zane doing cool teenage brags as a soundbite, like all the time. And they're just like, I got with your grandma. is just, again, the Dermot energy is fucking incredible.
Your dad's dumb.
Sorry, sorry, I forgot to kill you. Like, think just the really, really cool, last minute, unthought out quips that I really love. And they get really repetitive and kind of grating in the way that happens in these games. Again, it's a well-observed thing.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And it's kind of like I said earlier, a lot of the Zane's particular character and the things that he finds cool, down to the ways that typos happen in this, seem to stem from a genuine affection for this kind of this kind of loser that that Jay Tholen has, from the early internet days.
The whole thing works really well holistically.
Yeah.
You get this writing, you get this, the scenarios, the different levels, and you learn a lot about Zane, understand what he wants to know, what he's proud of, what he kind of wants to hide or have less obvious, and what he doesn't even know that he's showing.
Yeah.
With you.
That's great.
Very, very sweet.
Yeah.
There's some production details, this stuff. Slayer's X was announced April 2022, along with the proper Hypnospace sequel called Dream Settler.
Can't wait for
that.
Yeah. One of the things that I'm most excited for, and just keeping my ear to the ground. I will allow myself hype for a Jay Tholen game.
Yes. And the game was developed in character as part of this concept. So there's a Zane Twitter account, Zane Rocks 36, and it's kind of a dev blog, but he also responds in character the entire time. The audience contributed aspects of the game, provided feedback. He talked about, there are hints of like development lore in this that are probably not Jay Tholen working this stuff out live. He's just providing the background. Like an example is that, he's musing for like a couple days about how rats are always enemies in video games, about how much he loves rats. He just thinks there's a cool creature. He's like, I'm making my own game. What if I made them nice?
Yeah.
And in this game, like, rats are your bros. You're friends with rats. They still live in shit and hang out on turds and stuff. That's their main thing. But they're the good guys in this. And he talks that out in the thing. The logic behind it does not show up in the game. It shows up on that Twitter account.
Yes.
The kind of thought process. So it's again, very like meta mindfuck. It's half real devlog, half lore of this. It's real neat.
Yeah. So a flip side of that is that it is kind of hard to find details about development that are not in character. So if you do just oftentimes when I'm putting together, when doing research, I will go and just do a search for so Slayer's X developer interview, and the developer interviews that I could find were in character as Zane, and therefore not entirely helpful about like where this idea came from and who he worked with to put it together. We're giving lots of props to Jay Tholen as kind of the unifying voice in this, but this is a large team.
Yes. We don't want to sneak into our tour. Bullshit.
No.
There's a fun detail in this. I'm glad you caught this as well. The voice actors talked about in the way that Jay directed them was he did it in character as Zane to get the performances that Zane would get from this. And they said it was really fun. And very funny. When you're reading trivia about this, there's also tons of stuff about one of the voice actors who is a big voice actor for YouTube, who I don't know and don't give a shit about.
Sorry,
just a nonstop like, but this guy said this thing. It's a little Easter egg to when he said this thing in a YouTube, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what this is.
You. Apparently, the guy we're talking about like has provided a bunch of voices for Boomer Shooter kind of things. But he's played against type here. Yeah.
Imagine knowing that though.
Yes.
I can't.
I know other stupid stuff instead.
Exactly. Like I'm going to stick with something different personally. This guy a little, good, but not great reviews. Lots of solid like B minuses. Of this, which makes a lot of sense. It's a thing where I think that just as a video game, you're not necessarily going to lose your mind, and we are really spoiled for choice. For this kind of thing right now as a video game, you have to be in the pocket for the concept. And it's more than just being in the pocket for, again, meta shit. Like meta shit's really popular right now. This is a very specific flavor of meta shit though. And a very specific tone of it. Like a heart first meta shit look at a very specific time period.
Yeah.
It's a niche thing.
It's a niche within a niche within a niche, right? Like there's so much in this that will not make sense if you have not played Hypnospace.
Or if you weren't alive during the time that these games were around.
Yes. So, you know, if you are not 35 years old.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
It is narrowcasting.
Yeah.
To a degree that we very rarely see in video games, which is also something I think that makes it special. Right?
I admire it so goddamn much.
You look at things that is very common refrain of, you know, armchair dickheads like us is things that feel very designed by committee. You know, again, you mentioned Alan Wake before. One of the reasons why I think everyone flipped their shit over that, despite from all I can see, it looks like it plays like dog dick. One of the reasons, I'm not surprised. They don't know how to do that. One of the reasons why everyone flipped for it is it doesn't feel designed by committee. You know, and there are people who are just going to like, that's something you got to hand it to, right? There's a mainstream version of that, but then there's a really not designed by committee. Designed by a singular vision with no real account of like how you would sell this. You know, this starts with an intro that explains what happened. You know, like I was 17 or I made a notebook of a game and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But that's all you get. You don't get any of the additional context and stuff. It is not a game that you could just drop into the average person's lap and be like, get this.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. You know, which, you know, is special, you know, and so something that, you know, we talk about a lot, and I think just generally speaks like, oh, this thing feels like it was made for me. Right.
Yes.
You know, we're kind of in that territory here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for Dream Settler.
I need to go back. I wish I had time to replay Hypnospace because I've not played it since the Plus update. Adding new characters and pages and stuff like that. Apparently it's really additive. And I just haven't done it. I haven't touched it since we covered it. Yeah.
Same. I think it would be real fun to poke at in bed, you know, before bed, but it's just hard to find the time.
Yeah.
With work games, but it's I would love to replay it. So,
but
I also got to play Dropsy at some point, which I never played and I feel bad.
Yeah.
Cause I bet you I dig it. You know, I like the sensibility of this creator, but I just haven't played it. One sweet thing that I noticed when I was doing research for this is that Jay Tholen, again, this is like, we're absolutely fucking S&D on this stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Sorry.
We find the creator that we love. It's a creator that I really admire.
Yeah.
So.
What you're hearing is admiration, which doesn't happen that often.
Right.
But looking through it, you look at the Moby Games credit and it's 80% special thanks as a Patreon backer for other games.
Yes.
You know, like you just get the sense that like, oh, like this dude supports other people doing stuff as well. You know, that I don't know. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Looking forward to Dream Settler. That was announced at the same time as this. That's going to be like a little bit, like I think it's like 5 years in the future.
Yes.
So not, you know, 1999 internet, but like 2005, 2004 kind of stuff. So more like Flash, Newgrounds kind of stuff. Also an era that I have a ton of fondness for. And who knows if we're going to see Zane pop back up.
Yeah. What would it be like to see a mid-20s Zane? You know, what would it be like to see a Zane influenced by the shitty Matrix sequels instead of the Matrix? So we're going to get into it. If you were hearing this, then that means this is the end of the preview for this. If you want to hear the whole thing and all the rest of our premium episodes and Bonfire Side Chat and bonus abject sufferings and unfilmable and real lich hours, you can go to patreon.com/duckfeed.tv and give us $5 a month. And that gets you like a gabillion fucking shows.
Yeah. Way too much content. And we hope you enjoy it. There's tons of stuff there that we're really proud of. Real Lich Hours is going great. Talking about Baldur's Gate 3. So if you're interested in that, if you have friends who have played it, those first episodes are free to check out. So share it around. reallichhours.com.
Yeah. And you get other rewards higher up. $10 gets you Adaptation Decay, which I think is one of our best shows.
Yeah.
As well as Quackstack, our show we do with our producer Gwen, which is very fun. And then further from there, you can start, you know, there's other ways to spend money and dictate stuff that we do, which we're changing.
Yes. So Patreon has added the ability to sell individual things as one-time transactions. So that solves a problem for us. Previous to this, when people wanted to dictate what we cover on a particular episode, to executive produce an episode, they would have to become a backer at the $300 tier. And sometimes, just you forget to change it and they get double charged and we have to refund. Kind of a nightmare when you're selling a one-time thing as a recurring
that's a lot of money
deal
to just have floating. And we don't have power over how quick that refund happens. It's just on the Patreon back end. Like it's a frustrating thing. It's also overly complicated. Like it's what it is we were using it in a way it wasn't designed for.
Yes.
We were using a one-time benefit that is supposed to be a monthly charge. They added functionality though. So now you can just buy a sponsorship.
So that simplifies things greatly for you and for us. Yes. So, if you go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, you will see content shop or whatever, and you will see the executive produce a WAF episode thing there. If we end up having other ideas for stuff we can put there, then we'll do it. But right now, that is the low hanging fruit for how to use that. Yes.
And low hanging fruit gets a bad name. How badly do you want to work for fruit? Are you going to fucking eat a pomegranate? No. It's also a thing where it provides accidental functionality for the $0 a month patron. If you just want to sponsor an episode, but you do not want to be a patron generally, which is weird, but maybe you do, you can become one of the free patrons and then do that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that. That's how it's going to happen. It's going to come with instructions on how to do that, kind of parameters we set for that, because we're only human and we do a whole bunch of other shows. So we can't just we'll do Crusader Kings 1 through 5. Why not? I'll stop sleeping. I'll get a divorce in order to do the show. For $300. So there's kind of parameters that we set.
Yes. Yeah. If you have thoughts about Slayers X, it's too late to write in because we're on vacation probably. But if you have thoughts about January's games, which are The Case of the Golden Idol, Darkest Dungeon 2, or our premium episode, Blasphemous 2, write in by January the 15th at Duckfeed.tv/contact. And get featured in that dispatch. Keep the responses brief, please. And if you have thoughts about multiple games, please write in multiple responses.
Yeah, we'd appreciate that. Ratings and reviews, obviously very helpful. Telling your friends, very helpful. If you have a project, if you're not demographically identical to us and have a project or product you'd like us to shout out. Product would be weird, but that's happened a couple times with RPG books. Send me an email at gary@duckfeed.tv with prominent information like your pronouns and a link and a description. And we will be happy to shout it out. And we'd like to shout out our producer, Gwen.
Thank you, Gwen.
Yeah. And that's going to be it. We will see you next week with the dispatch.